What up guys, and welcome back or welcome to the Green Coated Olive, and today we are going to be talking about the Lysing system in My Hero All's Justice. So a few days ago I put out a video saying how there were two versions of Shigaraki. I was actually wrong about that. It is all of this new system called Lysing. I just had no idea what it was until I saw some other videos talking about it and realized what actually it was. And so I deleted that video because it was long, and now I will be fully explaining how the lysing system works in this video. So, how the lysing system works. It looks like the lysing system will be, kind of as they say, it will be a point that significantly boosts the power of your character by unleashing their full potential and using the techniques and transformations. An example I'll give two examples for both the transformations and techniques. So, like a technique would be Mina's Acid Man, which was shown off when they showed off her like for the 1 millisecond clip, and then another technique would be Deku and his gear shift up here. That would be a technique slash ability basically. And then example for transformation would be Hiroshima's Unbreakable mode, or, well, Shigaraki's Finger mode that you'll see later. Because you see Shigaraki right now, he's just a normal guy with his cape and his white hair, but then later on, I will show you his finger mode, and even in cutscenes, there's a mode like between the two. I don't assume that will be playable, it will just be him normal self, or all for one self, and then his finger self, and you can basically activate it somehow. I don't really know how you're supposed to activate it right now. It could be kind of like how the ultimates work. If you press the block button and then one of the buttons that does a grab, a 1 meter ball ultimate or 2 meter ball ultimate, but there's nothing with the grab and then pressing the jump button. So maybe it's like that. You press it and then the jump button and then you activate it, or maybe you press the running button and the blocking button at the same time and then it activates. Something like that. I don't really know. But then, however you activate it, you activate it and then you'll go into this technique or transformation. So like Deku, he now has the outlines behind him with his gear shift mode, and then he will be the only character to have that, and so he's the only really character you can distinguish. Well, except for Shigaraki and his finger mode, obviously, but this he's the only character you're able to distinguish what his different abilities are, kind of. Well, not really even. But Shigaraki is obvious too. We only see him do two different things, and I'll show both of them and kind of talk about it. Just let me say something first. Shigaraki turns into his finger self. This version of Deku turns gear shift mode on. Um, so look at this. Um, that that right there, and then this kick included is a whole combo. And it looked pretty normal. He just had his little flashes behind him. But then look at this. He does this ground slam and then this kick slam, and those both have bright blue lights on them. I assume that means those will be moves added to his kit by activating gear shift. I assume those won't be moves you can do if gear shift isn't activated. And the reason I assume that is just because I assume gear shift would have to change something, and if it was just a little bit of a damage boost, that wouldn't really matter at all. And basically, just with this rising system or awakening system, I think it will probably change the second quick ability or the B button on Xbox, or just like the light button on the 4 button menu thing. I think that will be either replaced with something else, probably, maybe. And it's just like the new version. So let's say, um, Deku, he'll get his B button maybe without gear shift on will be like a counter using danger sense, but now since gear shift's on, it's like very quick attacks, kind of like that was. There's another attack with gear shift around here. I think it's right here. Oh, I was way off. Right here. See, you see that? That was the same combo as earlier, but now there's an added move with that. So it seems like um this game will be giving us with the um new flow state, I'm basically calling it, they will be replacing kind of the big finisher attacks with more combo extenders. So you can just keep comboing, comboing, connecting the combos into different combos. And then now with the switching characters, it will combo even more. They basically just want to make the skill ceiling as high as possible with these. That's basically what I think they're trying to do. And yeah, let me go and find where they show off. They show off Shigaraki at some point when he's fighting. Um, oh, right here. Um, Bakugo versus Shigaraki. Look at that. Shigaraki is shooting this giant yellow beam of light. That could be a charged up attack, or maybe even his 1 meter ball ultimate, because that thing's massive, but it's also a 3D game, so it might not be. I don't really know. But anyways, that's something he can do in his normal form. But then here, that's a whole air combo he can do. And clearly he's literally using his fingers to smack you down. It will be, well, different. So it won't just be replacing one button, as I think. It might be replacing some of the normal attacks. Maybe even some characters will replace everything. Because like Shigaraki, when he's in this finger mode, he doesn't use any quirks. So he wouldn't be able to use that giant beam of light. So it might be a whole different thing. And if that's an ultimate, maybe there's different ults for them too. I don't really know. This is all just a theory. But it looks like they'll just be adding a technique that replaces one button and makes it something else. We're adding a transformation, and that transformation's abilities will replace a button or something else. Because also, back to Deku, obviously he still has his Black Whip, because in his Gear Shift and non-Gear Shift form he can use it. And it looks like he can pull people in, and he can also pull him to people. And so just, like, clearly it won't change everything, but it might change a button and some basic combos. And then, but also for some characters, it might change everything because Shigaraki, he like doesn't use quirks. It's just very different. So the Rising Road could be very interesting for high skill ceiling characters. It's like first there's one move set and now a whole different move set basically to combo with. It would just be cool to see. And also, I don't really know how you would go into your Rising Mode because then it's shown as being a stronger mode. Maybe you have to keep using your quirk abilities and then a bow fills up. Or maybe it's just you can pick to use it or pick not to use it. But if it's a stronger, I don't know why you would pick not to use it. I don't really know. Just there's a clear indication between the two. So it looks like the system. There's a clear indication between the two for Deku at least. Shigaraki obviously is in his finger mode, but like for let's say Bakugo later, he will have his, well, let me just say shiny explosion mode maybe, and then he can dance around and blow you up like I don't know. Just it looks very unique with the new techniques and transformations. That's what I'm gonna say. Just the Rising mode is a very cool thing that could change a lot of stuff. Could maybe give them new ults, new quirk abilities, new basic attacks. There could basically be fewer variations of characters because they just fuse the two variations together into one character. And that's something I think is very cool. That will actually be the end of this video. Hopefully, if you were confused on what the licensing system was, this helped you, and I will be having other content out soon with more stuff talking about the licensing system. So yeah, hopefully you check that out if you want to. Um, anyway, have a good day.